When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com. The Big O Radio Show is looking for partners to join our growing platform. If your business is ready to reach an audience that starts in Florida, crosses the nation while expanding internationally, this is the program that provides that vehicle. The Big O Radio Show is ready to broadcast live anywhere in the world to represent your event or product. To reach out by phone, 786-754-4664. That's 786-754-4664. Or email bigoradioshow@yahoo.com. Help us grow as we provide the content and personal connection corporate entities will never achieve.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop. There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Oh, I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red, an infrared light, has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Evolve your training and step into the new era of muscle recovery. Red Recover.
Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
You learn that change is the norm, right? You know, change is part of it. Guys that have stuck around and guys that will stick around, they'll hold up trophies. You know, they will, and they'll have some great moments. And some have been through the ups and the downs of it, but you know, when you go to a school, you choose a school like the University of Miami, you sign up for all of it, all that comes with it, knowing that this university academically, from a life standpoint, a support standpoint, athletically, is going to give every student athlete everything it has. And I think those guys, they're grateful. I think they've expressed their gratitude. And the best way they can express their gratitude on Saturday is to play as hard as they possibly can and do everything possible to earn a victory.
The storm is brewing. The warning flag is up. It's time to get ready for Miami Hurricanes football. Welcome to The Edge Energy Drink Miami Hurricanes pregame show on the SportsTalk305 Network. Live from Walk On Sports Bistro in Kendall. The show is mastered by Sean Stanley and Chad Shobe. When you're looking for the finest energy drink on the planet, you can only get it delivered to your home or office by going to myedgedrink.com. Use our code Big O and get 10% off an energy drink that's delicious, smooth, and has zero aftertaste. Here's your hosts, Orlando Alzugaray and Mike McCoy.
All right, good evening from beautiful Walk On in Kendall. Welcome aboard to the myedgedrink.com Miami Hurricanes pregame show. Mike McCoy, myself, Sean Stanley, of course, mastering this program, always getting it done. Well, it's the final game of what is the regular season. We're hoping that they can extend the season by one more game in a bowl game, but it will not be easy tonight against Pittsburgh, a team that is favored by a touchdown, and a team that's actually won 3 in a row, Mike McCoy. So this is also a team that is playing better football down the stretch, and that's going to be one hell of a challenge for the Canes, even at home.
Oh, happy Thanksgiving, Sean, everybody listening. Hope everybody had a great holiday, is having a great weekend. But, yes, time for some football. Not going to be easy, like you said. Pat Narduzzi coach teams. You know what you're going to get. You know what you're going to get. You're going to get tough defense, a running game, ball control, and, you got to come and meet the matchup physically. You got to be ready to play with them because they're coming with bad intentions, and it's always been like that with the Pat Narduzzi team. Miami's held their own in the past couple of years against, Pittsburgh. Last year, we're talking about the defending ACC champions, not Coastal champions, not Coastal Division, not anything like that. The ACC champions from 2021, and there's a big difference of between the team last year and this year. A quarterback by the name of Kenny Pickett, who's now throwing passes for the hometown Steelers. He's a good one, winning the first round, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
right?
late first round.
So he's starting right now. So that's minus that. And they also had a subtraction to USC via the transfer portal, Jordan Addison. But listen, they're not missing a beat, it seems like. They're right there, and they're winning with defense. They're winning with running the ball. And these guys, it's a complete team. So Miami will have their hands full. And are they ready to meet the challenge? Let's see if the urgency of making a bowl game is going to match the intensity of Pittsburgh wanting to close out their season.
Yeah, and you just heard Mario Cristobal there to open up the show, and he was talking about the effort that you've got to give in order to play and win tonight. And a lot of guys are either playing for other schools because you might be putting tape to transfer and get out.
Right.
Other guys may not be playing today because they've already got one foot out the door. And then you've got the other guys that he just talked about, the guys that are going to stick around, the guys that are going to carry trophies and that kind of stuff. Well, those guys are fighting for positions for next year and fighting for the respect of their coaches. And so there's a lot of things on the line besides just like a W or an L for the players. For us, we keep it very general. It's about winning or losing. It's about getting to a bowl game or not a bowl game. But for the players, there's a lot being played out right now because different human beings are in different situations right now. You've got frustrated ones that they know they're leaving. You've got other ones that have no idea where they stand. And then you've got the other guys, that are probably going to be here for a long time, like one of the quarterbacks that for sure will be here for a couple of years. Yeah, guys like that. They're, Jacoby. Is it Jacoby? Or Jakari. I always want to call him Jacoby. I don't know why, man. But Jakari is the guy that's playing for the future. You know what I mean? Now, Manny Navarro said that his gut was telling him that it's going to be Tyler Van Dyke tonight. And I'm hoping that it is Tyler Van Dyke because I want them to win the game.
Right.
So,
Yeah, I get it.
yeah, I want him to win the game, you know. Jakari is so green, and I respect everything that he's done so far, but it's unfair to him to put him in this position. You know what I mean? It's not this. He's not supposed to be doing that. He's supposed to be hanging out this year and learning the system and learning how to prepare and learning how to read film and decipher defenses and all those kind of things that youngins do. But today it's interesting. It's kind of a soap opera inside that locker room because a lot of guys aren't in the same position.
You're right.
You know, 2 years from now, everybody's going to be on the same plane, on the same boat. They're all going to be rowing the same way, and guys will be graduating and moving on. But when you are taking over a program, there's a lot of disarray going on, and unfortunately, there are going to be casualties, and this is part of the process.
Can these guys spell pride? Because that's what they're going to be playing for. Playing time, as you alluded to, next season and thereafter.
Here or somewhere else.
It's an audition. So, look, it's more than just winning today for these players. It's literally for their future and how bad you want it. And, listen, that's been a problem for Miami, playing for something other than pride, or for playing for pride, period, because that just – it's not a thing that you see Miami do. That's why I felt better than most about watching them and how last week transpired because they fought. You know, that those late 2 touchdowns, that made the score bigger than to me what the game was. But in any event, listen, they got to do this. Well, it's senior night. It's a night game. No black uniforms, which I was glad to see. They're going with I believe the orange tops and the.
We're in South Florida, bro. You don't want to wear no black uniforms.
Well, I mean, it's an 8:00 game.
It's still the humidity of South Florida, bro.
And
I'm good. If we were watching them in Pittsburgh, yeah, wear the black, bro. That's fine.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a cool night up there. That's fine. But here, oh god, I'm glad they didn't do that. I'm glad they're going all white, right?
I believe it's
white and orange
tops.
White and orange.
Right.
White and orange. Yeah.
So I mean, you said it. You hit it right on the head. It's been a very big type of head scratcher in the past several years when you Miami has had opportunity after opportunity to make their statement because they've had a lot of instances where they're playing for something. All right, this is something on the line, whether it's a coastal division, whether it's a big game, whether it's a win versus a ranked team, or whatever the case is. It's senior night tonight. It's the last home game of the regular season, and you have a chance to extend your season into any type of bowl. And at this point, my bet is they would take any type of bowl because
it's the 15 practices, bro. Like everybody says, it's the cliche. It's not about the bowl game because this is not the team that's going to be establishing or reestablishing the culture of the Canes. Those teams are the next couple of years are going to do that. You know what I'm saying? So this is about trying to just get over the hump today and trying to get into that bowl game just for yourself, man.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. And the thing is, I mean, these guys are football players, right? They came here because they loved football, right? You want to keep playing football, right?
Exactly.
So win this game. And you're 100% right. This isn't the team that's going to change things, but there were games this season where you saw Miami get better. Texas A&M, they got better. Georgia Tech, they got better. Virginia, they got better. And so you saw them fight last week, and in some instances, they didn't lay down. In some instances, they probably got better. But win this, because Miami was not supposed to not go to a bowl game this year, okay? Depending on who you ask, they win the Coastal, they may not win the Coastal.
No, I thought they would go to a bowl game this year,
too.
dude. I thought they would win about 7 or 8 games, actually, and boy, was I wrong.
Right? So, I mean, if you love football, I mean, this is what you're playing. Again, the seniors, let's list them here because – senior night, again, this is a big night for everybody involved and parents, coaches, everybody alike, and, of course, obviously the players. So you're talking about senior night, and these are the guys that are going to be playing their last game for Miami. Fifth year redshirt senior. You got actually, he's a junior here. Give me 1 second. I have the list here. I'll find it in a second. I have all the redshirt juniors, all the fourth-year juniors, and I have to wait till this loads up for the seniors. But it's a bunch of guys. And we'll see what that transfer portal looks like in about a week or so. Or I don't know.
Boy.
It's December 5th, I believe, when you can officially enter. And that's a little bit, over a week away. And there have been some names dropped in this past week. I think the last one was Keyshawn Washington, a safety from South Day Senior High School. It's been a bunch of guys, and we're gonna go through that list as well. But if Miami is wants to make any type of impact for this season and at least achieve one goal, because the ACC Coastal is out of the question, win today, so you don't have to academically qualify for a bowl game at 5-7.
Yeah, it's going to be a long line leaving the Canes football program. There'll be more people in that line than they go to the Opelika Hialeah flea market. Okay, that's how it'll be a longer line than Wilt Chamberlain's conga line of women that he apparently slept with. That's how long the line is going to be.
Damn.
Oh yeah, this is going to be 20, 25 people, 30 people.
Oh yeah, this is between graduation and transfers and just go somewhere else and play. There's going to be upwards of 20. Well
over that.
Yeah.
If you're adding graduates and all that.
Yeah.
I'm talking. Now we're pushing 50. I'm not lying. I mean, they're gonna. I think 2025 alone are gonna transfer the hell out of there, and then you've got the graduates and all that kind of stuff you throw in there. Oh yeah, how many seniors do they have on this team?
I'm pulling it up right now.
Isn't it like 10 or 15 of them?
I'm pulling it up right now.
I want to say. So you've got it's gonna be a lot of people getting the hell out of here. Unfortunately, because they're going to make a lot of changes. And this is part of the process. I mean, you watch Elon Musk, right? He's taking over Twitter, and he's going to clean house. And sadly, that's what happens to every business and a lot of football and baseball and basketball and hockey programs. Once a new coaching staff, new schemes take over, Mike McDaniel inherited the defensive coordinator and the special teams coordinator. I don't know if both of them – well, I know the defensive coordinator is going to survive. I don't know about the special teams coach, if he's going to survive. And then, obviously, there are going to be some players that after he's been there for a year with them, he's going to say, okay, I like him, no, I like him, no, he's going to be like what's her name from History of the World Part 1? Yes, no, yes,
you got me on that one.
Yeah, no, it's that's a different kind of reference. I forgot her damn name now. I was gonna say Cloris Leachman, but it's not Cloris Leachman. Damn it, I forgot her name. But anyway, it doesn't matter. But that's what it's gonna be. It's who you like. Nope, you're out of here. And this is part of the process. And let me tell you something. Because of NIL and transfer portal, this fast tracks all of this.
Oh yeah,
that's the beauty of. Yeah. I mean, listen. I get you got to tear the scab off, and you kind of went through 2 hell years with Tua and Flo, and then now you're starting to see the fruits of the labor, and that's what happens at times. Look, the Panthers, it took them a while to kind of figure it out, and now they've got the kind of team that can get to the playoffs year in and year out, and hopefully they'll be again there, in the playoffs, and maybe they'll make a deeper run this year. That's part of the process. It's hard to see the light right now when there's so much darkness. And that's what this entire season has been. So it allows you to be negative, and it allows you to kind of almost feel like there's no way out of this. And, that's you'll be laughing about this 2 years from now when you said, wow, remember when we went through that hell? Remember when the Dolphins were 5-11, and they only won 5 games. Remember that year? Well, look at them now. They're 7-3, could be 8-3 this week. Wow, how things have changed. And that's kind of part of the process. And we just got to hang in there, unfortunately.
I mean, we've kind of been through it if we were old enough of a fan to have gone through the Butch Davis. I mean, I know that was a different type of situation.
Yeah, but that was the sanctions. The sanctions. That's different. That was something that set you back, because of, penalties that you committed. But yeah, it took us several years to watch them get out of that hole.
A bunch of games that they lost that they shouldn't have lost, even when they were on East Carolina. I remember that bad. FSU getting shut out.
Manhandled by Nebraska in a bowl game.
Yeah. So Lou Headley is one of the seniors that's going out today. Going to miss him.
I'm going to miss his beer.
Yeah, man. Deadly Headley. He's a semifinalist for the Ray Guy Award, best punter in college football. You got DJ Scaife. fifth-year senior from Miami Southridge, offensive lineman. A lot of guys were going back and forth as to whether or not he should be a guard or a tackle. Me personally, I see him as a guard, but he's held his own this year as a tackle. Justice Oluwaseun, who hasn't played much of this season due to injury. Offensive lineman number 70. He's started the season out as a right guard. Who else is on here? Wayman Steed, number 17 linebacker from Miami Central. Caleb Johnson doesn't get much playing time, but Wayman Steed is a guy number 17 who had an injury-riddled career, from beginning to end. And I believe he was one of the linebackers, not one of the linebackers. I believe he tore his ACL his senior year of high school at Miami Central. Miami stuck with, his pledge there. Antonio Moultrie, transfer from, I believe he came over from UAB, number 44. He's on the line, one of those interchangeable linemen.
A little breaking news. Gio Milian is reporting that quarterback Tyler Van Dyke to start Hurricanes regular season finale against Pittsburgh tonight. So Rivals is reporting that he is starting, so it's official. Go ahead, my man.
I like that. I just hope he's not trying to be Superman because, listen, if he's not 100%, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't want to see him.
I know, but it's the last game, so you might as well try it. If he must have practiced. He must have thrown the ball earlier this week. Let me tell you, let me explain something here to all of you out there. If he comes out again and looks like he did a couple of weeks ago
against FSU,
I'm going to be ripping the coaching staff. And I'm going to be ripping them, and I'll be ripping them all off season. And by the way, it will now be something that I'll be concerned about because then they have a either they don't care about the kids or they have a terrible eye at understanding whether somebody's healthy or not. Because it happened already once. It better not happen again.
That's what I'm saying. Unless I don't want to see him 99. I don't want to see him 99.9% healthy. I want to see him 100% healthy. And so FSU game was 2-3 weeks ago. So we'll see. DJ Ivey is another senior, fifth-year senior from South Dade.
By the way, Manny Navarro is saying that it has not been confirmed yet that TBD is starting.
Somebody's lying.
So Rivals may have gotten it a little early. That's why I mentioned the guy's name or the reporter's name because I don't want it on my ass.
No, of course.
If I report something, it's pretty much money. But I'm not going to report something that I'm not going to make it sound like I'm reporting it because I'm not reporting it. But just in case, I want to make sure we give credit to the person that broke it or they get critique for breaking the wrong story. So one of the two. But either way, my ass is saved. That's all I worry
about.
We're
reporting the reports.
Yes.
That's what we're doing.
We're just passing on the reports.
Yes.
But we're going to see. We're going to see. I mean, Manny has thought that he's going to start anyways from the get-go.
Mm-hmm.
But go ahead. How many of them left?
No, that was it. That was DJ Ivey is the only other one here that I'm seeing. So
it's about 10?
A handful of seniors.
Oh, so it's not even 10.
Not even
wow.
10.
I thought it was a little more.
Ivey.
DJ Ivey is, And by the way, Zion's been here like 80 years.
Zion.
He's still like a junior, right? Or a sophomore?
But he's probably medical redshirting, one of these years. Remember, he has a COVID. 2019 was his first year as a true freshman. And I'll tell you right now, Zion is – I just had it. I'll tell you right now. Give me a second. Number 60.
By the way, Don Chaney Jr. is out on the field warming up, according to Adam Lichtenstein. So he's been dealing with injuries all year long. So we'll see.
Nelson's a fourth-year junior.
Okay.
Fourth-year junior.
I thought there were more seniors than that on the team.
Not even 10.
I thought it was a little more than 10, actually. So I was
remember, we had 17 guys leave this spring.
That's true.
17 guys left this spring. Some guys are hurt, that are probably DJ's one of those guys. We'll see, he's out there. But I think I kind of like 5 guys. Scaife on the O-line. Oluwaseun on the O-line. Headley. Steed, Ivy. That's 5, and I think that's it. I think that's all. I think that's all she wrote.
Okay. All right. So we'll continue to keep you updated and see if anything develops with Tyler. I'm hoping he does play, but if he does play, it's because they made sure that he can play.
Yeah, because remember against FSU when he kind of started wincing, it was at a non-con. He tried throwing the ball. If you guys remember.
No, I remember. I talked about it this week that the coaches on the other side can't see him wincing, and he's asking me, "You all right?" You go, "Yeah, I'm all right. Yeah, I'm all right." and he can't see his face wincing every time he throws it. Like, he ain't all right, dude. What are you doing? And
See,
so,
at what point?
And listen, I get trying today because the season's over. So if you can't go, you've got the whole off season to recover, and I get why they're trying it. You know what I mean? But you also don't want to put him out there where he can't help you, and that's what happened the other day. The other day that you played him when he clearly cannot help you. So why are you playing him?
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I've never coached. I don't know if you've ever coached Pee Wee or whatever, but at what point as a coach? I
did sleep at a Holiday Inn last night, so I can do any goddamn thing out there.
So you're qualified to answer the question. So my question to you is this. At what point as a coach do you say, look, I know you're not healthy, but I see you really want to play. Okay, but if this happens, blah, blah, blah. Because, I mean,
no, you got to stop. You got to stop them from themselves. You got to stop them from themselves.
Yeah.
That's your job as a coach, as a mentor, as a custodian of the program. You've got to take care of the young man. You can't. You cannot allow him to put in a. Because look at Tua. His crazy ass will put himself in all kinds of positions that he'll end up injured.
Yeah.
You know, and it looks like maybe now he's figuring it out. So that's good. It finally took him a while to figure it out. I'm always terrified with him and the injuries. And so, you know, it's just one of those deals. And so you've got to protect players from themselves because they don't know how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like a guy like Tua just doesn't know how to do it. Now he's been throwing the ball away now and sliding finally, you know.
It's hard when you know only how to play one speed, the sport that you love your entire life, and somebody tells you, look, man, for the sake of your health, for the sake of your career, you got to do it different now.
The team. When you're talking about the quarterback, everything falls on you.
Yeah.
You go out and the whole thing goes to crap. So you can't play the same as everybody else. You have to be more careful than everybody else because you're the most important piece to the entire puzzle.
To the entire operation. And look how hard it must be for guys because they're not being told to change this because they've, you know, after they've been doing it for a season or two. Like, look, this is new to you. You can still change it. This is ingrained in them. Tua wants to run. He wants to, you know, go for those extra yardage and stuff like that. And, you know, I think it's ingrained in athletes, period, that, you know, it's a competitor in him or her that it's like, I'm going to go out, I'm going to do it. I can do it. That's like, and not in a bad sense, but an ego thing. You know, coaches, they take over jobs because they think that they can do it. They think they can do it better than anybody else. Even going to, look, Matt Rule is going to take over a really, really bad situation at Nebraska, and they're giving him 8 years to do it. We'll see what he can do, you know? And so it's kind of the same thing with athletes. They think I can do it, I can do it until they see that they can't. So hopefully he's healthy enough, and because I think Miami's chances increase significantly if he's out there healthy.
Manny Navarro's reporting that Miami QB Tyler Van Dyke will go through warm-ups before they decide any final decision on his status. So the fact that he's out there warming up doesn't necessarily mean that he's starting.
No.
We got to just kind of hang in there a little bit and give it a few minutes, and we'll figure out whether he's starting or not. And I think that's what gives this team at least a chance, man.
I know you're not a fan of this, but I somewhat, as long as you have everybody on the same page, players, staff, other players on the team aligned and, okay, this is how we're going to do it, this is what we're going to do, I'm not opposed to playing two quarterbacks, as long as both quarterbacks know their role, all right? And people think, oh, no, you can't do that because then you become predictable. Jakari's in there, he's in there for a run. Not necessarily. Not necessarily.
But he's not good enough of a passer.
He's not.
But again, you're now putting him in a position that he should not be in.
He's a quarterback, though. I get he's a freshman, but you can't handicap the offense just because there's a running quarterback in there. I'm not saying that you got to throw a wrinkle in there. Again, it's the last game of the season. It's the last game of the season. There's got to be some type of element of surprise. So if Jakari's in it, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a run, okay? But, I mean, that's just how I feel about the situation. I'm not totally 100% opposed to it, two-quarterback system. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen next season, okay? But, in an ideal world, you see the Gators, what they did in 2008. You get inside the red zone, you have a different guy for different things. And then all of a sudden that jump pass was invented by, that's the first, I don't want to say invented, but it's the first time I saw it. You look like he's going to go over the pile, and then he tosses it over for a.
And the dude was a linebacker. They converted him to running back.
There you go.
And then he threw the pass.
There you go.
Okay.
So, I mean, we'll see how the coaching staff decides to handle the situation. Again, hopefully Tyler can go through the game 100%. Remember, it's his throwing arm too, guys. So it's not a Mickey Mouse injury.
Leon Fresco says Mario should hire Dan Mullen as OC and Flo as DC. I'm with you with Dan Mullen. You can hire him as an OC. I'm good with that. I don't want Flo anywhere in the same state as Tua. Okay? I don't know. Flo might be sneaking over in the middle of the night to, sabotage Tua, cut his brakes out. I don't know, do something, to ruin our quarterback. He already tried to do it one time. He's already, think about this. Flo is looking like a king-size idiot now. Like all over the league, they're like, so you had that quarterback and you wanted to play Fitzpatrick and Jabroni, so I can't, in my right mind, I can't put Flo in the same state as Tua.
He didn't have the receivers, though.
Doesn't matter, bro. He still wanted to play Jabroni over him. So the fact that he wants to
wrong, because you obviously watch more Dolphins football than me, but the only time that Tua was exited from the game was when they needed a change of pace, right? When he wasn't looking so good and he went to It's like going to the bullpen. That's kind of what Flo was doing.
But you don't need to go to a bullpen when you have an ace. The problem is when you don't know how to use an ace, that's the problem. I mean, you're misusing the ace.
He was having some bad games, and then Fitzpatrick came and he ended up winning them, right? Some
of them, but actually, if you go look at it, Tua won more than Fitzpatrick. That's the misconception of this whole thing. That's the problem because Fitz does all kinds of exciting stuff, and then he does some stupid stuff.
Oh yeah.
But you remember all the exciting stuff, and you kind of forget about the stupid stuff. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't want Flo anywhere near Tua. I don't want him in the same state. I don't want him in the same county. I don't want him in the same zip code. I certainly don't want him in the same city. That's for sure.
I'll take Dan Mullen in a heartbeat. I don't have a problem. Just leave his wife away from campus. That's number one.
Plus, she's going to be spreading all kinds of,
weird situation.
What's those things called? The cooties, whatever. But what's herpes called? What are they called? What's that called, bro?
You got me, man.
What's in general? What's it called? Gonorrhea, herpes. What's it called? Like
STDs.
STDs. There you go. She'll be spreading all kinds of STDs. That woman kisses everything in sight, bro.
Mono, you name it, whatever.
Yes.
But you want to know what? Who else? I would take Canes fans in the chat. Canes fans listening. Lincoln Riley has a little brother, that they probably share ideas off of. Who's the offensive coordinator at TCU?
Is he Cadillac Riley? What's his first name?
Oh, man, good question. I'll have to look him up right
Mustang
now.
Riley?
TCU offensive
Cougar Riley? What is it?
Actually,
Buick Riley?
Garrett Riley. He's an offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach over at TCU, who's in the playoff.
Garrett?
Garrett Riley, sir.
The family couldn't keep it in the Carr family, at least? Couldn't call the guy Cadillac or something?
Garrett Riley, little brother. So, they're bouncing ideas off of each other. And so I'll take him. I'll gladly take Dan Mullen. And we'll see, man. But
I'm actually not. I'm not actually pissed with Kevin Steele. I'm good with Steele.
No, I'm not either.
I'm good. I'm good with all the coaches. The only guy, obviously, Leon, you hit a sore spot with the offensive coordinator. That's the only guy that right now is like he's on double secret probation. Like if you fire him, I won't be disappointed. And I wouldn't even be surprised if they do move on from him, to be quite honest. Even Michigan's offense looks better without him.
They weren't bad last year, but you want to know what the common thread is between last year and this year, between Michigan's offense? They're still bad in the red zone. I thought that was a Gaddis thing while he was there because of what Miami's offense looked like in the red zone, especially earlier on in the season, but they're still not great in the red zone this season. So I don't know if that's a Gaddis layover, kind of like how we're seeing a Manny layover into Mario culture now. I don't know, but Michigan's offense is not great in the red zone, just like they were last year. So,
yep, I am with you there. We shall see. All right, let's do this. Let's take a quick break. Give us 2 minutes. When we come back, we'll talk to Gaby Urrutia. So we'll get the latest on recruiting and other Canes news. We'll keep you updated on what's going on as the boys get ready and they get prepped for The Pitt Panthers will give you the latest on what's going on with Tyler Van Dyke. If we're hearing he's starting, let me see if there's anything new here. Nope, I don't see anything, nothing new right now. We'll keep you updated on everything on the other side. You are watching and listening to the myedgedrink.com Miami Hurricanes pregame show live from Walk-Ons in Kendall. Mike McCoy, Orlando Alzugaray with you. Sean Stanley mastering the program right here on the Sports Talk 305 Network.
You're listening to Miami Hurricanes coverage live from Walk-On Sports Bistro in Kendall on the Sports Talk 305 Network. This is the myedgedrink.com Miami Hurricanes pregame show with Orlando Alzugaray and Mike McCoy.
Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red, an infrared light, has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Evolve your training and step into the new era of muscle recovery. Red Recover.
You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them.
With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation.
Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house!
Get out of the house! Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. You're locked into the only platform truly dedicated to South Florida sports. This is the Edge Energy Drink Miami Hurricanes pregame show, live from Walk-On Sports Bistro in Kendall on the Sports Talk 305 Network. Here's your hosts, Orlando Alzugaray and Mike McCoy.
All right, we're back here at Walk-Ons in Kendall, and it is time to talk to Gaby Urrutia, of course, from 24/7 Sports. There he is, as always, manning the post at the stadium as everybody's coming on in. Gaby, how you feeling, my man? How are the recruits? Are they rolling in today? Are they watching the game today?
He says he can't hear us.
Oh, wait a minute. You hear us now, Gaby?
Yeah, now I do. Yeah, now I do.
right.
Now I got you guys.
All right, so how do we have a lot of recruits coming in today to check it out? What is the vibe over the last couple of weeks on things that have happened?
Yeah, no, definitely light. As light as I think I've seen it here this year. I think pretty understandable considering the circumstances. Obviously a lot of rivalry games. It's Thanksgiving weekend. Miami and Pitt. I don't know if it really moves the needle a ton, but definitely some intriguing names. Probably my favorite is 2024 receiver Terrence Moore. Just got eyes on him for the first time. He's got a ton of big time offers, and he just pulled up. Was at Florida State last night, so he made the drive down from Tallahassee. I think that's a pretty big deal. Originally a Dade County guy. I think he's going to be a name to know in 2024. So even on a day where it's extremely light in terms of just like actual targets, there's still pretty. I mean, one or two pretty intriguing names.
The only thing I don't like about that is that kid got to see the ambiance of last game between Florida State, which was crazy, and that's not even going to come close to what he's going to see tonight. He's going to see a lot of empty seats and not the same kind of vibe, and I just wonder how much that hurts, man.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll see. I mean, it's a long process, with these 2024s. This is a kid that's really kind of starting to blow up. Had a huge year for Tampa Catholic. I think he went for over 1,000 yards, and had some pretty insane numbers. So I think we're just really in the early onset stages of this kid's recruitment. Yeah, obviously the environments aren't going to match up, but I think it's a lot about relationship building right now. I know Miami's done a good job with him to this point and getting him down again. And again, he is from down here originally, so we'll see. Hopefully we get him down to a game next year where there's that rowdy environment. I mean, hopefully things are a lot different at that point.
Let's hope so.
Gabby, happy belated Thanksgiving, if that's the thing.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving, guys.
I'm glad you got to spend it with your family and everything like that. So let me ask you a question, because Mario's good for this. Everybody heard about Javonte Citizen. When they heard about Javonte Citizen, is Terrence Moore one of those guys that out of nowhere, under the radar, just popped up and like, oh, look, Miami's talking to him? Is he one of those guys?
Yeah, I mean, he's a 2024, so he's just a junior now. So, he still has plenty of time before, it really becomes anything like that. So, he's just a kid that everyone's offering around the country right now. I think Alabama, Florida State, all those different types of guys. So, he's definitely just an exciting pass catcher, one of those, intriguing prospects. But, again, still kind of early, still at the point of his process where that type of stuff happens.
In terms of, you said, it's kind of light out there. Did you mean on the recruiting front or overall as well?
Oh, I mean, I think overall really too. I mean, when I guess I pulled up to Hard Rock Stadium pretty early today, but when I did, I was the only car turning into the parking lot. Like on either side, there was like two different entrances. I was the only one coming in. Honestly, I mean, I haven't seen the whole environment of the parking lot, but it doesn't necessarily feel like it's going to be 64,000 strong or whatever it is here at the stadium. So we'll see.
Let's talk about, let me ask you about a guy that Miami has had their ears on, especially Miami fans like myself has had his ears on, and he's done a very good job about taking his visits, kind of marketing himself. Pancake Huncho, Samson Okunlola, a top 5 offensive tackle in the country. And every time I ask recruit Nicks like yourself about him, they say that, look, really nothing is changing my opinion about feeling good about Miami landing his commitment. Where do things stand with him, and where was his last visit? Was he at Florida FSU last night? And we're just going to wait for Gabby to...
there he dropped. Okay.
He'll come back on the screen, on the stream. But, I mean, I guess it's kind of expected. Thanksgiving Day weekend, right? Obviously, the record what it is. People are traveling. Students, not in class right now. So it's not expected to be a big recruiting weekend, especially with your opponent, Pitt, even though Miami is playing for a bowl game. It's probably, there you go, Gabby. Here's Gabby. Here's Gabby.
Hey, you guys got me?
Yeah, we got you.
We got you.
I hear you guys. I don't know what happened there. I could hear you guys, but my camera went away. Like I lost the camera. So, but yeah, I heard your question. I mean, Samson Okunlola, no, he wasn't at Florida State or anything like that. I do think Miami's still, in a pretty good spot there and all those different types of things. Florida State not really involved, so I don't think that, he would have pulled up to Tallahassee for that one.
Okay.
Gabby, when we talk about recruiting so far, what has changed? any defections outside of the one kid that went to Florida, and he was kind of a Gator anyways at heart. So it was kind of one of those things that it was kind of iffy if you were even going to keep him. But how has the class stuck together so far?
Yeah, no, everything else is stuck together pretty well, man. You know, these guys have kind of reaffirmed their commitments time and time again. You know, some of those guys, you know, I do think it's still going to be a battle to keep these guys. And, you know, from what I understand, that's going to be priority number one, is really keeping this thing together, you know, making sure these guys are all glued up. You know, they've had to fight off some things in terms of, you know, guys, you know, Florida potentially trying to recruit some of the guys and things like that. But, you know, I think that ultimately they've done a good job of keeping the core of this group kind of gelled and, you know, all kind of, you know, in unison in terms of, you know, Miami being the spot where they're going to play at. So, yeah, you know, it's going to be a process. It's never easy. Nothing's ever guaranteed until, you know, pen meets paper. But, you know, I think for now they've done a good job with that stuff.
Gaby, what are you hearing about defections now? Because I would imagine that the coaches are putting their arms around certain players and saying, hey, listen, I want to be honest with you. I don't think there's going to be a lot of playing time for you next year, this, that. So what's the number, if you had to put, on people going to hit the transfer portal at the end of the year?
Yeah, you know, I think 5 or 6 have already announced their intentions. You know, I definitely expect there to be more. You know, I mean, we've heard anywhere, and by we, you know, just us at, you know, inside the U, you know, anywhere between 20, 25, you know, anywhere around that mark. And, you know, again, what I've been kind of telling people is whatever happens kind of happens. You know, at the end of, you know, bottom line is this is a potential 5 and 7 football team, a team that could potentially miss a bowl game. If, you know, if they're guys that, you know, aren't going to kind of cut it. I mean, again, it doesn't seem like the players that are on this roster really seem to contribute to much success anyways. If they're not a part of the future of the program, I think it's just time. I think it's best for everyone to just kind of, you know, go their separate ways. And that could look like a kind of a wave of guys leaving the program. And typically that could seem like a bad thing. I think that in this situation, I think they're very generous with a lot of the players currently on the roster in terms of allowing them back, having them come back, and really giving them an opportunity to prove themselves. And I think now they kind of know what they have. They've evaluated this roster. They know exactly who these guys are. And I think now they just need to make business decisions in terms of, you know, again, just being honest with guys. Being like, hey, look, we don't see you as a part of the future of this program. We think, you know, we're going to help you find, you know, land on your feet and land in a good spot. And, you know, I think that's totally okay.
And I think, Gaby, that's part of the reason why these recruits are attracted to, you know, Miami, because let's be honest, around the country, you're looking at Miami 5 and 7. Or that's the record right now, or probably going to be 5 and 7. And they're able to hold this top 10 class with 2 5-star dudes that are, you know, the number one position, ranked number one at their position. But what I wanted to ask you about was there was a corner whose name I saw on the Twitter timeline a couple of days ago. I don't think he went to Lakeland. I don't think he's Cormani McClain's, starter on the other side of the field. But there was a 6'1", 180-pound corner that, you know, Miami fans were kind of liking his tweets about or whatever, and I cannot recall his name. Would that be – is there another corner for Lakeland that's kind of drawing eyes from Miami? Because I can't remember who the name of this cornerback was.
Not that I know of, man. Not that – I don't know another corner from Lakeland or anything like that. Not sure exactly who it is that you'd be talking about, but, you know, they're always looking. Yeah, if you find the name, I mean, I could definitely help you out there.
Gaby, give me the prediction. What happens tonight, my brother?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Miami's pretty terrible against the spread. I don't know. What is it, 6.5?
Yeah.
I think they're one of the worst teams in the country against the spread. You know, I don't know. I don't know if I see it going any better today, man. I think, you know, Pitt's a team that's won 3 straight games. You know, can play themselves into, you know, a pretty respectable bowl game by finishing. I think they would be 8-4 on the year. You know, I'm just kind of leaning that way. And, you know, again, I think it kind of just, you know, it is what it is. They have a really good running game. Abanda Canada, I think, is one of the conference's top backs. You know, he's kind of their workhorse, the way that they feed him. You know, Keaton's, you know, I just think that it might just be a little bit too much for Miami right now. It seems like there's a lot of guys that are maybe 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You know, some guys, again, have already announced they're transferring. I think there's a few more that are waiting for the season to end to announce their intention. So I'm just curious how many players on the field are going to be completely focused on, you know, here for the, you know, the right now and really grind out a win. Again, not calling anyone out or insinuating anything, but, you know, I just don't think that this is a game that's going to go particularly well for Miami. And again, I think everyone's just kind of ready to move on from this season. So I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't the best, you know, outcome.
We all want to move on from this season.
Yeah, I know you're on
Let's
your way
wrap it
out. Gabby, A.J. Harris. He just so happens to be the number 2 cornerback in the country.
I mean, he's committed to Georgia. So, I mean, he's from Phoenix City Central in Alabama. I haven't really heard anything there. Georgia, I mean, I think you got to be pretty crazy to move off of Georgia right now, especially as a cornerback. I think that they've done a good job bringing those guys in and developing them. I can do more digging there, see what I can help you out there with there. But, at this point, I haven't really heard of any legitimate smoke there to give you anything like that.
Fair enough.
The man is a walking computer with names. You are amazing, Gabby. Gabby, appreciate you, my brother. Enjoy the evening.
Yeah,
we will catch up on Tuesday night on the Miami Hurricanes Watch, man. Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right. Thank you, guys.
You got it. There you go. Gaby Urrutia, man, getting it done for us as always. And don't forget, myedgedrink.com, the finest energy drink on the planet. Use our code Big O. You will get 10% off. Order it to your home or office. You can only get it online at myedgedrink.com. Soon you'll be able to get it here at Walk-Ons too, by the way. myedgedrink.com, 78 calories. Delicious, smooth, and zero aftertaste. I tell you all the time, I don't care what energy drink you're drinking right now, this one will crush it. The flavor is just amazing. No aftertaste, zero. When I tell you delicious, smooth, and zero aftertaste, I mean it. And as an elixir, it is off the chains, man. I love mixing it with my Grey Goose. Go to myedgedrink.com. Use our code Big O. Get 10% off. You got some news for us there, Mikey?
Manny Navarro tweeting Miami middle linebacker Corey Flagg on crutches with a boot on his right foot. We knew he wasn't going to play, but worth noting. That just means more Wes Basaint, more everybody else you want to see out there as the linebacker's position.
Okay. Corey's had an up and down year, man. So it is what it is. But we will see. All right, let's take a quick break. Give us 2 minutes. Back on the other side, live from Walk-Ons in Kendall. Come on out here, man. We got prizes every quarter. We got all kinds. We're going to give away Caneswear gift cards every quarter. We're going to give away Perdomo cigar lighter and cutter and a hat. That's like $100 prize. We're going to give away 4 of them. Okay. We got Walk-Ons gift packs that we're going to give away every quarter. We got Walk-On gift cards that we're going to give away every quarter. And in the fourth quarter, we're also going to give away a free airboat ride.
What?
Yeah, baby.
Okay. Can we win it?
No, well, we're going to take you on soon. No.
Okay, cool.
No, I'm not joking, actually. But anyways, our friends at Buffalo Tiger Airboat Tours, which is right off of 8th Street and 297th, I believe.
Wow.
And it's on the right side. So actually they have way more territory that they can actually take you on the airboats and some islands and all kinds of stuff that you would never imagine is out there in the Everglades. And so it's a really cool thing. So we're going to give away this free airboat tour in the fourth quarter also. So we thank our great friends at Buffalo Tiger Airboat Tours and check them out also and tell them that we sent you. They will take care of you, man. Good people, man. Good people. So we got a lot of giveaways, a lot of prizes all night long here every quarter. At the end of every quarter, we're going to give it away. So come on out here. We're at Walk-Ons in Kendall. Final broadcast of the Canes broadcast for the season. I think we're going to be back here for some other things going on. So you never know. So we'll tell you that when it all happens. Give us 2 minutes. Back with more right here on the myedgedrink.com Miami Hurricanes pregame show on the Sports Talk 305 Network.
You're listening to Miami Hurricanes coverage live from Walk-On Sports Bistro in Kendall on the Sports Talk 305 Network. This is the myedgedrink.com Miami Hurricanes pregame show with Orlando Alzugaray and Mike McCoy.
Red Recover now offers a simple-to-use, professional-grade light therapy device designed to help your dog heal and live a healthier life. Red Recover emits red and infrared light therapy based on the same science that NASA developed, all in a soft, flexible housing pad powered by a convenient, rechargeable lithium-ion battery. Say yes to science and give your dog the care it deserves with Red Recover.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com. The Big O Radio Show is looking for partners to join our growing platform. If your business is ready to reach an audience that starts in Florida, crosses the nation while expanding internationally, this is the program that provides that vehicle. The Big O Radio Show is ready to broadcast live anywhere in the world to represent your event or product. To reach out by phone, 786-754-4664. That's 786-754-4664. Or email bigoradioshow@yahoo.com. Help us grow as we provide the content and personal connection corporate entities will never achieve.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Oh, I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
Red, an infrared light, has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Red Recover can maximize your efforts by potentially improving cellular metabolism, blood circulation, and muscle recovery. Evolve your training and step into the new era of muscle recovery. Red Recover.
Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
It means that he's a real one, you know? I mean, like we talk about all the time, football tells the truth now. It will reveal who's tough-minded and resilient and who's able to push through and deal when things are good as well as when things aren't so good. And also will reveal those that buckle and that will look for, a place to hide if things don't exactly go their way or look for excuses. I mean, football's a beautiful thing now in terms of helping people learn about themselves, learn about others, about their teammates, about their coaches, about an organization. It's one of the reasons I do love the game. And I think, Tyler's a great example of a guy who's a competitor and wants to do the very best he can by his teammates and his program.
The storm is brewing. The warning flag is up. It's time to get ready for Miami Hurricanes football. Welcome to the Edge Energy Drink Miami Hurricanes pregame show on the Sports Talk 305 Network. Live from Walk On Sports Bistro in Kendall. The show is mastered by Sean Stanley and Chad Shobe. When you're looking for the finest energy drink on the planet, you can only get it delivered to your home or office by going to myedgedrink.com. Use our code Big O and get 10% off an energy drink that's delicious, smooth, and has zero aftertaste. Here's your hosts, Orlando Alzugaray and Mike McCoy.
We are here, hour number 2, getting you ready for a little Miami Hurricanes and the Pitt Panthers. We are coming to you live from Walk-Ons in Kendall, as you heard the man with the voice say. And we're out here for every game. This is the final game. We've been out here pretty much the entire season, having a good time, giving away all kinds of prizes, and we'll do it again today. Giving away all kinds of prizes, so come on out here and join us. And, you know, Mike, today when we talk about this game, and we're going to talk to Noah Hiles in just a few moments here from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. He covers this team. So Pittsburgh's won 3 in a row, but Miami, you just told me, has beaten Pittsburgh 4 straight times. Now, the question is, does this team resemble anything like the other teams that beat Miami, that beat Pittsburgh, and can they make it 5 in a row?
Can they? Sure. Will they? You just heard about the vibe. It seems like, coming out from that stadium right now from Gaby, who just joined us on the last segment, that, there's not much of one.
No.
For a season finale, senior night, 8 o'clock kickoff, going to be on, what is this game on? ESPN?
ACC Network.
ACC Network. So, yeah. The only chance that I think, not the only chance, but I think the biggest chance, as we have heard, Tyler Van Dyke taking warm-ups, is if he's healthy. That'll be a plus. But last year, 38-34 at Pittsburgh, that game was a shootout. I don't know if you guys remember that,
yep.
But you had both quarterbacks going at it. All right.
But the problem is Miami doesn't have those 2 receivers that they had last year.
They absolutely don't. So to answer your question,
and
obviously it is
that changes everything, doesn't it?
Of course it does.
Doesn't it? Because really, let's. I understand they're a bad team, okay? So I'm not trying to dress anything up. I'm not trying to put lipstick on a pig. But if you have those 2 receivers with Tyler Van Dyke, then even your running game becomes completely different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The fact that you don't have a passing game puts so much emphasis on the running game that they're like, because your passing game is not a threat.
Yeah.
And because it doesn't scare anybody, they say, all right, guys, we got to stop the talent they have back there because you can't let them to get going. But if you had those 2 guys on the outside like you did last year,
Harley and Rambo,
my God, it would just change the dynamics of everything.
Yeah, yeah.
It's crazy how, and this is a university that has pumped out receiver after receiver.
Correct.
Hall of Fame NFL receivers. Not just receivers that would be college Hall of Famers. No. Guys that went on to the NFL to become NFL Hall of Famers. And a ton of guys that have been all pros or stars or hell of a player. And yet, wow, they don't have not one of those guys on this team.
Not one.
Not even close.
Not
And by
one,
the way, the 2
yet.
guys that left, they're not the guys I just described in the NFL.
No, they're not.
I mean, Charleston Rambo's in the XFL.
Just got drafted last week.
Yeah, he just got drafted. He was a first-round pick. That's right.
First-round pick.
Put some respect on Charleston Rambo.
And Harley is bouncing around. Last time I heard, I think he was on the Browns roster, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure.
If you just had those 2 guys, it would change the dynamics of everything. Man.
If they had those 2 guys, if they had a healthy O-line, if Tyler Van Dyke was healthy, if, there wasn't getting used to it.
Dude, but just give me those receivers for tonight. I'm just saying. Just for tonight. That's the only thing I want to change. At least you tell me, just give me one thing. Give me those 2 receivers and a healthy Van Dyke. And you know what? Maybe you might have a chance tonight.
I hear that. But Miami's going to have to do with Xavier Restrepo, Frank Ladson, Brashard Smith, Jacoby George, whoever's available. Keyshawn Smith hasn't been seeing many snaps lately. Romello Brinson has barely been seeing the field all season long. Disappointment because he was my favorite coming into, to be an impact player or a breakout player, I should say. But that I don't think this game is going to resemble anything like last year's shootout up in Pittsburgh. We'll see. Like I said, we'll see how much pride takes this Miami team going forward and see how they come out the gates, because everybody knows the story between not between, but the way Miami has started games, or, they get knocked in the mouth first and it seems like they don't recover. They stay wobbly for the rest of the fight, so we'll see how that happens. But a vast contrast between last year's team and this year's team. So I don't know what to expect. And that's been kind of the thing that it's been disappointing as a Miami fan this season. You don't know what to expect from week to week.
Right. Yeah. And that's the unfortunate. And that's why when you're not a good team, the inconsistencies is what actually shows up all the time. And that's exactly what's going on.
I will say this, depending on Tyler Van Dyke's health, again, this is his throwing shoulder, guys. I think this is one of those games that you see him throw 50-plus passes.
And by the way, Van Dyke is set to start, okay?
Okay.
All right, Lichtenstein just put quarterback Tyler Van Dyke is expected to start tonight's regular season finale against Pittsburgh. But we've got to give Canes County the credit from Rivals.
Got it.
Because they're the ones that had it first. So, Gio Milian, you, sir, had it first. So, Tyler Van Dyke starts. And at least I hope we see a healthy one.
At least I hope we see a healthy one. And guess what? Even if he is healthy, right, I still expect to see a minimum of 10 snaps of Jakari Brown out on their field. I really do, because you got to use his legs at some point. He helps the offense, when it's in a jam. And if the coaches, use him correctly, I don't think that he's in there only for passing. Okay. Yes, he's not the strongest passer. I get that, but you can't be predictable either. You can't be predictable either just because he's in there and tip off the defense. So we'll see.
Yep. And by the way, Manny Navarro, while Canes County reported, Manny told us throughout the week he thought for sure that that Van Dyke would start. So his gut was on target with Van Dyke starting this week. In fact, I think he told us last Saturday that he thinks that Van Dyke would close the season out with the Pitt Panthers. So that's good. We shall see. Now we are awaiting Noah Hiles. Let's see, right? Because Noah should be joining us now at 7:00. So I'm sure. Does he have an invite and everything ready to go? Does Noah have an invite here? So let's make sure that Noah has an invite, gentlemen, so we can get him on board.
He just DM'd me. He wants the link, so we didn't send it to him. So let's get that over to him.
Let's send him the invite. You got the scoreboard there of the top 25. We can go over the scoreboard there and see what's going on in college football, because there are some interesting games. By the way, I thought Michigan, which normally puts me to sleep, they were entertaining as hell today. It was much more entertaining than the Argentina-Mexico game. I can tell you that. Alabama, by the way, is leading Auburn 49-27 with just under 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. It is Oregon State leading Oregon 38-34. What a comeback by Oregon State. We're watching that game here, and there's 7 minutes or 6.5 actually left in the fourth quarter in that game. TCU just blowing out Iowa State 55-14. Sorry, Keith Sims, I'm sorry about that. 13 minutes left in the fourth quarter. It is Penn State leading the team that has 7 guys with arrest warrants. Michigan State 21-16, and there is 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter. And number 14, Utah, is leading Colorado right now, 56-14, 14 minutes left in the fourth quarter. We promised you that Noah Hiles would be joining us, Panthers writer for the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. You can follow him on Twitter at _Noah Hiles. Noah, good evening, sir. Now, I'm looking at your Twitter feed, and it says you're a big Dave & Buster's fan.
I sure am.
So what is the must thing that Noah Hiles does at Dave & Buster's?
Well, listen, I just met you guys. I don't want to come off cocky, but I am the owner of 8 medium Guitar Hero records at Dave & Buster's.
Oh, boy.
Yes, 8. Yes. That I've got a couple games I like playing there. So yeah, Guitar Hero is my favorite one. Now, some places, I was in Brooklyn last week to cover basketball. They didn't have one. I take that Dave & Buster's down a peg because they did not have that game. I'm also a big fan of Deal or No Deal. That's another great game there. But I like to call myself a Dave & Buster's connoisseur. Everywhere I go, I try to get one. I might have to head to one tomorrow with my extra day here in Miami. So we'll see.
All right. So wait a minute. And by the way, the one you want to go to is right off of I-95.
All right.
And it's just off of Sterling. Sterling and I-95.
Noted.
It's called what? Oakwood Plaza. That's where you want to go.
All right. I'm going to write that down.
Now you know, I'm a rock man at heart, so I love my rock, my heavy metal.
All right.
So you know, you're already in my wheelhouse with this Guitar Hero stuff, even though I suck at it. But I do enjoy like acting like I can jam or something.
Same.
So what's your favorite ones? What are your favorite bands to jam to?
Rage Against the Machine, Bulls on Parade is my favorite song of all time to play there. Funny story, in the North Hills location in Pittsburgh, there was, I don't know who they were, JSW. They held the record on that song for like a year. And every time I'd go there, I'd get closer and closer. I had 7 times in a row. I was perfect, but I still didn't get enough bonus points to beat it. And then like the final time I went, like at the end of this last summer, I beat it. And I debated on never going back again. Like, that's how happy I was. Like, I just wanted to, like, walk off the field. Like, Babe Ruth hit 3 home runs in his last game and just walked off the field for good. Like, I thought about doing the same.
Okay. By the way, Iron Maiden, I noticed, is a pain in the ass, which is my favorite metal band.
Okay.
But on Guitar Hero, holy crap, dude, that shit is hard.
Yes, it is not easy. But I like the challenges. You know, the record ones, what other records? I don't know. We could talk about Guitar Hero all day, which we could if you're up for it. But
no, I mean, listen, you hit me with that. When I saw it, I said, that's it. Now you hit Guitar Hero. Yeah, we could go on for hours. All right, so tonight, is it all about Abanikanda? Abanikanda, really? Because I look at Slovis, and I'm looking at 7 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Mm-hmm. I'm not looking at him to be the impact player. Is it more about Miami having to focus on that beast running the football?
He is a beast, but I'm not confident that he's playing today. So in the final possession of last week's game against Duke, he was on the sidelines, and they went with a backup when they needed to move the sticks to get a first down. They actually didn't get it. And we said, well, why wasn't he on the field? And he said he wasn't available. He was banged up. And, you know, Pitt doesn't reveal a lot of injury information. I can't say more than that, but if he doesn't go, I will say that Pitt has other really good running backs. Against Syracuse earlier this month, he did not dress, and Pitt put Rodney Hammond Jr. as he's back up in his spot, and he ran for 124 yards and a touchdown and helped Pitt beat Syracuse. So they have other really good running backs. Sibo Flemister is another really good one. He was a transfer from Notre Dame. So they're really deep in the backfield. However, Izzy Abanikanda is a step above most running backs in the country. I'd put him in the top 3. Would not be shocked to see him get some All-American recognition once this season ends.
Thanks for joining us, Noah. And listen, just to kind of piggyback off what you're saying about the running game, Hammond and Davis both ran over, if I'm not mistaken. I think they went over 500 yards each season. I have it right here. So Davis went over 500, and Ronnie Hammond Jr., they both went over 500. So these are no slouches at running back. They did so last year with limited carries. So just because Abanikanda is not in the game, that doesn't necessarily mean that the game plan is going to change much. Am I right or am I wrong?
No, that's exactly it. The game plan's gonna. I apologize. The referees are.
You're good.
Microphones. But yeah, the game plan's gonna remain the same. I mean, Izzy's missed time. In other games too against Georgia Tech, they leaned heavily on Vincent Davis. Now he's had some fumbling problems, so it's been Sibo Flemister in place of Vincent Davis. But Davis is a 4-year letterman for Pitt, so he's played a lot of football as well in this backfield. I could see him getting touches tonight if Abanikanda doesn't play. But regardless, they love to run the football with this offense. Frank Cignetti runs that pro-style offense. Back when he was at Pitt the first time, you might remember Dion Lewis and Ray Graham when they were a power duo. That's when Pitt was running the ball great, and they're going to look to do the same. They've done the same all year this year, and regardless if Izzy's healthy or not, Hammond Jr. showed he can tote the rock just fine. Not only against Syracuse, he did against West Virginia in the season opener as well.
You look at this team overall. What are your impressions from the Canes from afar? Because, brother, it has been a long season down here as Mario's first year and trying to kind of weed out the what he likes, what he doesn't like. It's been rough, my brother. So I'm wondering, from your point of view, Noah, how do you see what you're watching from the Canes from afar?
I'll tell you what, when I looked at the schedule at the beginning of this year, I had high hopes for this one. I'm like, wow, Pitt and Miami, they both should be, top 15 teams at the end of the year. This will probably be for an ACC title game spot, maybe even a playoff spot if all goes right. And it hasn't worked out for either team really. But, Miami's, it's been tough. I've noticed. Quarterback injuries and just the offense in general obviously hasn't worked out for the way you guys would like it. And it just goes to show how hard it truly is to build a program in a city where Pittsburgh and Miami can relate to this, where when you have pro sports teams in the same city, it's hard. When you're in, for us, the comparison is always Penn State, and there's nothing else in Happy Valley. There's nothing. It's the middle of nowhere. And the same can be said for most, SEC schools. Like, that's the focal point of those towns is that team. But when you're in a pro sports town like Miami, like Pittsburgh, and a few others, if you don't win, people aren't going to buy in. And while, you guys got some weather and some boosters that kind of help your efforts a little bit, it's still winning drives all. And you can bring all these kids in through the portal or through NIL. But if there's more L's than W's at the end of the year, they're not going to stick around regardless if you're at Pittsburgh, Ohio State, Miami, wherever. And it just goes to show, it's this winning business ain't easy in the Division I level. So I think let me
ask you something, Noah. Because you bring something interesting, because that's something I've talked about here since we're a pro town. Mm-hmm. And then the other thing is Miami's a private school, and most of us, like, I couldn't afford, like, my daughter went a little bit to she did some medical stuff over at UM, but it was all on scholarship, and she went to FIU, which is what most of us parents can afford to send our kids to. FIU and FAU, the state schools, or hell, you can send them to FSU. It's still cheaper, way cheaper than Miami. So the alumni base is not big. Yeah. And really, Miami is kind of treated like the sixth pro team in town with the other five pro teams, including the MLS. And they're kind of treated like a pro team because they don't really have an alumni base that's big enough that'll fill 30, 40,000 seats alone. No, dude, you'll be lucky to get 2,000, students to go to a game. I don't know if you've ever been on the campus. Half the faces on that campus are from other countries, not even in this country. So it's a weird dynamic for the University of Miami. How is it in Pittsburgh? Do they treat the Panthers also like a pro team almost, like they do here in Miami?
And there's something else you could probably relate to it too, is if your college team isn't winning, high school football takes preference in our area and probably in this area as well. Those are two. Western PA, I'm not going to say it's South Florida good, but if you look, Western PA is up there every time as far as, big time football legends go, and it's a huge interest. Even
and quarterbacks, baby.
Exactly.
You get all the quarterbacks.
Quarterback capital of the world, man. Yeah, and that's it. It's if you're not winning, they're not going to be interested. Now, and that's something I've talked a lot about with the writers this year. Is Pitt kind of had a great opportunity to be the toast of the town, with the Steelers probably having their first losing record since 2003. They could, if Pitt just doesn't get upset by Georgia Tech and Louisville, their losses are to Tennessee and North Carolina, two very respectful losses. They're definitely a top 20 team, and they're what the whole city rallied around. Similar thing happened last year when Kenny Pickett really stepped his game up, and people went out and supported Pitt. And there's been years where that's happened, but yeah, like you said, if it's not good, then yeah, it's hard to gain alumni support. Like Miami, Pitt does not have a stadium on its campus. So, if you're a student, you're trying to get there, you got to catch an Uber, you got to ride the T across town, or, plan a designated driver to get you over there. And parking's tough. It's hard to create a great game day atmosphere. And now alumni show up. Same for you guys. I'm sure when Florida State comes here, you got no problem bringing people in. And if you saw at the beginning of the year when Pitt hosted West Virginia, it was the highest attended sporting event in the city's history. But after that, when Tennessee comes in, you got 15,000 Tennessee fans in the stadium, and that's just the reality that Pitt has, and it's tough. It's tough to win recruits, with that type of inconsistent attendance and challenges. Yeah, it can really, really be difficult. I mean, Pitt's had 2 4-stars decommit in the last 2 weeks, and for a program like Pitt, that's devastating, because you need those guys like Pickett will come here as a 3-star and they'll stay a while and they'll eventually pan out. But that's a tough thing to rely on year in and year out for developing 3-stars into NFL quarterbacks or NFL talent. You can't prey on that every year. You need to get the high-end guys, and those high-end guys don't want to play in empty stadiums, and especially empty stadiums in the cold.
Which is why you got to give a huge thumbs up and a huge kudos and a huge, attaboy to Pat Narduzzi, because no matter what the decommitments, no matter how many or how often they are, or no matter what Pitt's record, you know what you're going to get with a Pat Narduzzi coach team. You're going to get running the ball. You're going to get time control offense or ball control offense, a hard-nosed defense, a tough defensive line. And we talked about the running game in comparison to last season, this season in comparison to last season. Pitt had 3 guys over 500 yards, right? Mm-hmm. This year, I want to talk about the passing game. Now I want to talk about the passing game. Obviously, you lose Jordan Addison, Biletnikoff winner, goes off to USC. He had 1,500 yards receiving last year. But Jared Wayne is not – this is the question. Tell me how much of a drop-off, if any, Jared Wayne is. I mean, 47 catches, 658 yards last season. Right now, he's on pace to – he was already over 800 yards on only 44 catches. So only has 2 touchdowns, but – How different is the offense? I'm assuming you're going to say not much, because they still like to run the ball. But in terms of passing the ball, how different is this offense?
It's actually a very different offense, because Mark Whipple left as the offensive coordinator, went over to Nebraska, and they put more of an emphasis on the run. But on the Addison point, Wayne is a very talented receiver. I'm not going to call him Jordan Addison, because there aren't any receivers in the country who are Jordan Addison. He's the Biletnikoff winner, and he's going to be a first-round pick. And, Pitt's had a couple of guys, but, when Jordan Addison put himself in the same conversation as Larry Fitzgerald last year. So, there's no one on this team that's doing that. However, Wayne is a good one, but what hurts with Addison's departure is that you had Wayne as a 2 behind Addison. So when Wayne steps up, it's now who's your 2? And they have Kanate Mumfield, a kid who transferred in from Akron. He was a freshman All-American. He's been good, but that was supposed to be their 3. And then the guy, Bub Means, who's supposed to be their 4, is now the 3, and so on and so forth. So that's been a little tough. You're putting guys in spots that they weren't anticipating to be in. Now they had a whole offseason to prepare for that. But with a new OC, a new quarterback, and basically 2 of the 3 receivers are new. I mean, it showed that the passing game has had its problems, and they like to rely on the run, but every now and then they can sprinkle in a couple of big plays for the pass.
So obviously Slovis is the new guy in town manning the offense at the quarterback position, and everybody knows tight end is a quarterback's best friend. Talk to me about Bartholomew, because since it's a new system, since it's a new quarterback, and a tight end is a quarterback's best friend, is he one of those run blocking guys that'll catch an occasional pass, or is he a threat to go down the field against Miami's pass defense?
Mike, I get more emails about Gavin Bartholomew than any other player on this team. He was a freshman All-American last year. There were so many people who had so high expectations for him, and they just don't throw him the football. I don't know why. We've asked their passing game coordinator about it. We've asked their offensive coordinator about it. We've asked the head coach. We've asked the quarterback. He's open sometimes. He is a very talented player. I would encourage you to go look against what he did against Tennessee. He had a hurdle on the sideline. It was, I think, the top play in SportsCenter that week. He is a stud of an athlete, and a lot of people around here think he might end up hitting the portal simply because he's not getting the football a lot. There were people who thought he would be a shoo-in to be, going up against Miami's tight end as all first team all conference this year. And he's just simply not getting enough looks. I mean, he is a great run blocker. And I will say that Pitt has 3 tight ends, and they moved actually a guard to tight end as well. So they have 4 really good run blocking tight ends, which helps, Izzy get those 5-yard runs into 10, 15-yard runs. But, that's probably been – that'll probably be one of the biggest areas of focus if he's back and Keaton is back next year, is a way to get Gavin involved, because he is a dynamic playmaker. He's got speed, he's got athleticism, and he's got a nice pair of hands. And they're really not tapping fully into his potential, in my opinion.
Noah, let me ask you something. and this is it's kind of a general ACC question. Clemson doesn't look like themselves.
No.
They lost their defensive coordinator, obviously, to Oklahoma. They lost their AD to Miami. And so Dabo's lost a lot. And obviously, Ukulele didn't look very good today. Do you think that enough has happened to Clemson that it's kind of opened the door for whoever wants to? Pitt, Miami, you name it, Florida State. Well, actually, Florida State might be closer than any other team in the ACC right now. But is the Clemson dominance about to take a hit, or do you think it's just an aberration what's going on, and Dabo will overcome some major losses?
I don't think it's necessarily taking a hit. I just think that, like Clemson wasn't ever Bama. It wasn't ever, what Georgia is now. It was a solid program that just had back-to-back incredible quarterbacks. That's the thing that makes the difference in these programs. If you put a Deshaun Watson or a Trevor Lawrence on any team, if you put him on Michigan right now, imagine how good that team is. If you put them on LSU or TCU, you look, it's just when you look at what North Carolina has right now, case in point. And it's just, they were a good program that got a really good quarterback, and that led to other receivers saying, hey, I want to play with that guy. And they came in, they made plays, although they had good receivers before that. But they were able to take that next step because they had a really good quarterback, and they replaced him with an even higher profile recruited quarterback. And those, however many years, 6-7 years or whatever, they had those two guys. That's what makes the difference. But right now, like I said, without those guys, they take that regression. I still think top to bottom, they're the most talented
defensively
team.
Too, my brother, right?
But I'm saying when you have a good quarterback,
the coordinator there was a lot of guys that went to the NFL during his stretch too, man.
But that's what I'm saying is when you have a good quarterback, you win games, and then everyone wants to play for you because the alumni is there, and you need a quarterback to win. And once you're winning, it's easier to sign everything. Everything comes easier with those W's, right? So now that's kind of regressed, you look around, and like Florida State's got a talented quarterback. North Carolina's got a talented quarterback. And this is like the time right now where the ACC's begging someone to take over. It's kind of like where the Pac-12 was at the beginning of this season. And you look, a good quarterback goes to the Pac-12, and now there's a front runner there. So, I would not be shocked to see a Miami, a Florida State, a North Carolina, those teams that have, there's a lot of good quarterbacks in this conference too, if you really think about it. So, and Clemson has another really talented quarterback ready and waiting whenever Ukulele leaves as well. So it could be anyone, but that's the thing. Like, you can point to like 5 or 6 teams in the ACC this year and say, well, if they just didn't blow this 1 or 2 games, they would win this conference. You could point at North Carolina right now. If they didn't just stink these last 2 games, Drake May would be the Heisman Trophy winner right now if he didn't lose these last 2 weeks. You could point at Pitt and say, you know what, if they just won every game that they took a lead into the fourth quarter, their only loss would be Tennessee in overtime with a backup quarterback. You can point at all of these programs. Florida State's lost games that it should have won, and NC State, Wake Forest, all these teams have lost these dumb football games, and it's kind of cannibalized themselves. And we've seen that other conferences do that in the past with the Big 12, with the Pac-12, but the ACC is kind of doing it right now. The conference is begging, saying, someone please take control, be the top dog here, and that's going to come down to quarterback play, in my opinion.
Yeah, and the way Jordan Travis has improved every year, and then going into next year, that's the school right now that I give them the inside track on challenging Clemson for superiority in the ACC.
Yeah.
Nothing else, man.
Noah, give us some prediction, my brother. Give us a prediction.
All right, I predicted Pitt 27-21. However, when I made that prediction, I did not know that its top 2 defensive linemen would be out, which is some news that broke earlier today. Kalijah Cansey and Habakkuk Baldonado, 2 guys you'll probably be seeing on Sunday next season, are not playing tonight against Miami. And when Pitt does not have Kalijah Cansey, it's a completely different team. Watch the first half when it played North Carolina earlier this year. Then he got ejected for targeting late in the second quarter. Go ahead and watch what Drake May did against that defense in the second half. Now, I don't think there's going to be a Drake May out there playing in orange and green tonight, but there's some pretty talented quarterbacks over there. So without Cansey and Haba, I think it might be closer. So I'll reduce it. I'll say 24-21 Pitt.
All right. Good stuff. Follow him on Twitter at _Noah Hiles. Catch his work there at the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. Noah, thank you for the time, my brother, and keep those frets flying, baby.
Absolutely, baby. We don't play hard. We don't use that orange button. No way. We keep it simple. 4 keys.
There you go.
Guys, thanks for having me on.
Thank you, my brother.
Yep.
Good stuff. Noah Hiles, good stuff there. We got some breaking news, man. Andrew Ivins, Willie Taggart is out at FAU, sources tell 24/7 Sports. Owls lost in overtime to Western Kentucky on Saturday. They dropped 4 games by a combined 9 points this season. Taggart 1-10 in contests played after November 1st since taking over in Boca.
So, did you know that Colorado offered Deion Sanders?
What was that? Oh, yeah? Right, yeah. Right, yeah.
So, Colorado offered Deion Sanders their head coaching job today.
Yeah.
Right? USF was the other rumored school to be of interest for Deion's services. They haven't made a move. I don't know what the hell they're waiting on. I think that would be the fit for him. But now this opens up. You got to think. If I'm Deion, I don't take the Colorado job.
I would wait for a better job than all of those, dude.
But if
I'm Deion, bro.
But don't you got to start somewhere? How everybody was talking about.
You're 1,000% right. I'm not arguing with you.
USF or FAU kind of be
but
better?
They're not going to pay his coaches. They're not going to give him the resources he needs. Dude, if I'm Deion, I keep building
JSU, right?
Keep building it to a point that Auburn or, like a big boy comes and says, no.
Do you think a big boy's going to take him knowing he hasn't coached big boy football yet?
Yes, I think they will. Because that's the world we're in now. They will take.
He's definitely a name. And you know what? Deion doesn't know how to coach yet. I think hopefully he will probably surround himself with guys that know what the hell they're doing.
That's what he's doing. But he's a great face for your program.
No, 100%. And recruits are going to flock to him.
Exactly.
They're going to flock to him.
They don't flock as much now because he's in an HBCU.
Yeah.
So if he was in a Division I and like a Power 5 nasty school, kids would line up because it's not just the kids. The parents watch Deion.
Yes. Good point.
They love Deion.
Point.
And so, and right, exactly. And to me, if I'm Deion, I'm waiting to hit a freaking grand slam.
He's a player's coach.
Why go drive yourself crazy at FAU and South Florida? Nothing against those programs, but until you prove to me that you're going to give the resources to a coach,
good point,
you're not really going to go anywhere. And I think, I hate to say this, but he's doing better for his community by staying where he's at Jackson State. If you're going to leave your community that you're helping immensely by going there and creating even more than what Jackson State has ever been, dude. Look, my favorite player of all time in the history of the NFL came from Jackson State.
You're talking about
Walter Payton.
Okay.
The greatest running back in my eyes.
That's your favorite player? Okay, good one. All right.
Of all time came from Jackson State. And so, I just think he's doing so many good things there for the culture, for that school, for the community and all that. If you're going to leave for something big.
Got it.
Don't leave for FAU, bro. Don't leave for South Florida. You know what I'm saying? Those aren't programs that aren't going to. They're not going to give him what he really needs.
They're going to benefit more from him than the other way around.
Yeah, he's right. They're going to benefit from him more than the other way around. That's really what's going to end up happening. And I don't think in those schools you're going to be able to acquire the top-notch assistant coaches you need in order to be the bomb. Because as you know, if you want to compete with the big boys, well, then you're paying $1 million easily to each coordinator.
100%. Yeah.
Maybe 2.
Yeah.
Okay? Because Kevin Steele's getting over $1 million. I'm sure Gaddis is getting over $1 million. Okay? So I'm just saying that this is the way it goes. If I'm Deion, I wait for a bigger fish. And in today's world, bro, they give Steve Kerr a job. And they give
Steve Nash
a job. And they give all kinds of people that are related to the sport but aren't necessarily tested for that job, and yet they still give it to them. And some of them have worked out to do a good job. Some of them have been a disaster. That's just kind of the way it is. And so far, at least you have where he has had some experience now at Jackson State.
Yes.
Okay, so and now he has the experience of recruiting. He has the experience of the rules.
Mm-hmm.
He has all that kind of stuff already. So at least when he goes to your program, you hire the right people. He hires the right people to help him along. He'll be fine.
Listen, if I wouldn't mind sending my kid to play for Dion at all, because he's gonna develop them off the field, and that's big for Dion. I mean, you listen to his speeches before games, after games, during the week to these guys, and it's not just about football. So, like you said, recruiting, you don't have to worry about him. He's probably going to wait for that school that says, "Oh, they got a good NL team. That's because they're going to give me, or boosters are going to get me the right coaches." So, good call by you,
dude. He's already in his 50s. Why are you going to go to struggle 4, 5, 6 years somewhere else? Then you're into your 60s. No, man. The next, make it a home run, dude. Go somewhere.
Just don't go to FSU.
Well, no,
FSU.
That would have been one that he had a shot, but unfortunately for him and for FSU fans, Norval's done a good job.
Yeah.
And Norval on this third year is what I want to see from Mario in this third year.
Yep.
Kind of broken out, and now FSU should be challenging next year.
Right.
Clemson.
Right.
By the way, we got some video of Tyler Van Dyke warming up before the game. Manny Navarro just posted it. Sean Stanley, of course, the man that masters this platform. Can you see the smoke billowing out? Does this show on video? Does it not? Probably not. Love it. No, I'm looking at the video. No, it doesn't come out.
No, I didn't see it.
You can't see it.
I didn't see it. But what I do want to see are check on these scores again.
By the way, Oregon State ended up beating Oregon.
Good.
What a comeback.
Yeah, because they were down.
They were down by
14
scores. Points or 21 points or something. It was stupid.
There are some points being scored on this November 26th because TCU put up 62. There's still it's a minute to go in the fourth. They're home to Iowa State. Colorado's losing at home to Utah, 14th ranked Utah Ute, 63-21. Texas A&M LSU just started. That's going to be an interesting game. UCF 7, South Florida 0. 7:30 Notre Dame. Everybody should have their eyes on that. I'm picking Vanderbilt to upset Tennessee today. Remember, no Hendon Hooker, and Vanderbilt's been scoring points all season long. So that's a game to keep your eye on.
Feels so bad for Hendon Hooker.
Yeah, that sucked. It's crazy.
He might be the best player in the country.
Listen,
I felt so bad for him when he got injured. That's why if you're the kid in Alabama, you ain't staying. Just get the hell out of here. You got nothing else to prove. Bryce, get out of here.
Penn State beats Michigan State's at home at Happy Valley 35-16. Georgia, not the impressive win that people were thinking was going to happen against Georgia Tech, but they win between the hedges 37-14. Michigan win is looking good, 45-20. The honorable Alabama escapes, but comes away with 49-27 win on that one.
And by the way, you're watching the video from Manny Navarro filming Tyler Van Dyke throwing some passes in the pregame. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, nothing. I'm just that. Remember when he got hurt against FSU, it was his throwing arm. He was scrambling to his right, and then he kind of tried to throw the ball, felt something, didn't, and that was it. That was all she wrote for the Kari Brown. I can't even remember. That was a bad memory.
It was.
I think we saw both of those guys.
It was Jake, yes.
And then Jakar.
Yes.
Yeah, because they saw that Jake just, didn't have a good outing or however many passes he threw that day. But yeah, man, that South Carolina win at Death Valley, okay, 31-30. That's the surprise so far. Remember, it's a rivalry weekend, so the Civil War, as O just alluded to, the 21st ranked Oregon State Beavers beat the Ducks 34-38. That's and they were down by 3 scores in the second half.
By the way, a program that I'll backtrack a little bit. That's not USF or FAU, but it actually is a little better than that one, and the resources are better, would be UCF.
Remember Malzahn's over there? They took
I know, but because why do you think Malzahn went? Because they have their own stadium. They're fanatics about their team over there.
They're the 2017 defending national champions.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You know, they're winning 14-0, by the way, right now. They're beating up on South Florida, who's 1-10 and 0-7 in the American Conference.
And by the way, put those Lane, if you guys didn't catch the news, they'll put those Lane Kiffin rumors to Auburn to bed, because he did sign an extension, or they restructured his contract over at Ole Miss, who lost.
That's all. That's why he did it. That's all. His agent was talking to Auburn. It's just to drive up the price. That's all. It's like the silly story that he was going to talk to Miami. Miami was not interested in Lane Kiffin.
Oh, I beg to differ.
But he was using Miami to get more money out of Ole Miss.
Sure. No, I completely businessman.
There's no way you leave the SEC for Miami. No way. And at that time, they weren't going to do what they did with Mario. Open up a wallet. This program needed to go through a couple more years of sucking and enough to finally get the wake-up call. So you weren't going to get Lane here because you weren't going to give him more than what he had at Ole Miss. So
what if I told you, and I'll wait for off-air. But Ole Miss.
Go ahead.
Ole Miss did lose on Thursday to Mike Leach's Mississippi State Bulldogs, 24-22.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but he was using Miami and I don't think Miami was really interested anyway. In the end, I think that it wouldn't have worked out, because this is where it might work out now. I think it's going to work out, actually, but I got to say might, because nothing's perfect. But right. I think finally the administration came to their senses.
They had to.
And then they said, okay, we've got to open up the wallets and we've got to do more. If not, we're never going to win. And finally they figured it out. So we'll see now.
And everybody wants to. By the way, I love Kirk Herbstreit, and I've always been a fan of his. And what he did that morning on the morning of whatever it was, College Game Day, then he pretty much mentioned that Barry Jackson article and just went scorched earth on College Game Day about the administration at Miami and how they're not aligned, and all the great programs you have it from president to head coach to so on and so forth, and they're all aligned. Shouts out to Kirby for making it national, but everybody gives him a lot of credit, and he really didn't deserve the credit. Everybody who's in the know knows.
I've been saying what he said for years. He was way behind.
Yeah.
So
you guys that are in the know, but Alonzo Hyde and Bratton, those are the guys, maybe some other guys, but those are the guys that behind the scenes got all of this stuff started. Okay, it was the brotherhood. All right, they got this stuff started from Miami saying, look, this is what needs to happen. This is what we need. And, those Mario talks, depending on who you talk to, they started like around this time last year or like early November, or maybe, towards the middle of the season, because Mario wanted to come home, but he handled it how he was supposed to handle it. And, that was it. But this is the way that I want it to be. This is the way I want it to be. This is the guy that I think is the right guy to lead the program. And obviously there's a lot of work to be done, but you can't compare your chapter 1 to somebody else's chapter 3. And like you talked about Norvell in year 3, wasn't supposed to beat Miami last year, did. Was supposed to beat Miami this year, did. And, they beat a top 10 LSU team. That LSU win is looking really good for FSU right now. I think they win, no, but it's still a win on for FSU.
By the way, Adam Lichtenstein is reporting that Miami offensive lineman Jalen not dressed for tonight. He's out the past few weeks, so he'll miss tonight's game. Those are some of the things coming out from the game. Let's see what else. Trying to find if there's any other news going on outside of that's it. I don't see anything shocking or anything outside of the Willie Taggart news, which isn't really shocking, but I don't think Willie Taggart will ever get another job again as a head coach, right? I think it's done now, right? He's had like 80 coach, and I think he's failed in all of them.
Oregon, FSU, this one. Somebody will take him. Maybe he'll be USF, a coordinator for a little bit, and then he'll work his way back up to being a coach.
Wasn't he at USF also?
He was at USF.
Yeah.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, no, how many jobs are you going to get, bro? I mean, that's it, Willie.
I mean, look, if Lane can do it, anybody can do it because Lane's been all over the place.
Yeah, but see, Willie
and Lane was disliked.
Willie's like a normal human being. Lane is he's a scammer. So, it's different. So he somehow fools people. You know what I'm saying?
Because, I mean, he wasn't liked. He had to do some rehab. He had to go to the Alabama coaching rehab facility, was there for a little bit, and then, he drove his stock back up. But that's exactly what Alabama is right now. And Bill O'Brien to undergo some rehab, and he's not passing his classes as good as people thought he would, but he's there.
By the way, I'm trying to find out if Abanikanda is going to play or not. I have not seen anything yet. I reached out to Manny Navarro, and Manny said that he's heard the same thing, that Abanikanda may not play today. Now, I have not seen anything official yet that he's not playing. I don't know if you can look up and see any of the Pitt guys, see what they're reporting, because I haven't seen anything on the UM guys. Yeah, try to see if you can find anything, Sean. There on the Pitt guys. Maybe our guy that just got on now, Noah Hiles, is reporting something from it. But if that's the case, okay, you're talking about a guy that comes into this game with 18 touchdowns, 1,320 yards, 5.9 yards per carry. So he's averaging 6 yards a carry. And you talked about Jared Wayne, their main guy, who's averaging 18 yards a catch at 800 yards. He has 2 touchdowns on 44 receptions. But Slovis is not a quarterback that you fear.
He's not. And that's
2,135 yards on 57% completion percentage, 7 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. So if Abanikanda is not in the game, they don't have their dominant runner and have a dominant quarterback. So if you're Tyler Van Dyke and somehow you can put some points on the board, you might give yourself a chance to win this game.
Two things.
If Anabakanda's playing, I'm a little nervous because obviously the dude's a load.
2 things, though. He also meant 2 starting
D tackles
that aren't, that they're not playing. And Noah Hiles reported that. But this is the thing, and he also said this when we talked in the last segment, or when he was on, that game plan for Pittsburgh is not going to change just because Wakanda Forever is not playing.
No, it's who they are. Yeah, you're right.
It's who they are. And remember, the guys that are going to take his snaps both went over 500 yards last season. Rodney Hammond Jr., 504 yards last season on 102 carries, 4.9 a pop. And Vincent Davis, 7 yards shy of 600 yards last season on 142 carries, 4.2 carries a pop. So you're talking about 2 guys that can still carry the load if they're going to get 10 to 12 to 15 touches between the both of them, or each, I should say. I'm sorry. You don't want Slovis, who was a former guy throwing the ball, even with Wayne out there. They're going to still be ball control offense. Miami hasn't been the best at stopping the run. There've been games that they've been great. There's been games that they haven't been great. And the thing that Miami has in its favor is Wakanda Forever doesn't play. Slovis is not a running quarterback. So you stop that run or you make him throw.
Did you just say Wakanda Forever?
That's right.
Okay, all right.
You like that? Wakanda Forever.
I got you.
I got to watch that movie, by the way. I got to take the boys to go see that. But, again, you don't have to worry about Slovis's legs. That's a plus for Miami.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll find out now. I'm trying to see if Abanikanda is going to play or not, but that's definitely a hell of a loss for the Pitt Panthers.
18 touchdowns. That's a big deal.
Yeah, dude. 6 yards a carry. Deal. The guy's a beast, man. He's everything in their offense.
On the season, okay, well, let me talk about last season first, because he was Pitt's leading rusher last season with only 651 yards. Pitt as a team last year ran for 2,100 yards, 2,107 to be exact. There's still a game to go this season, but as a team so far, he's run for over 1,300 yards, but as a team, they've run for 1,927 on the ground. So they're right there. They're right there. They ran for over 2,000 last year. They're on pace to go past that this season. But still a hit, but you're not going to see a different offense from this team. Miami has to play tough, Pat Narduzzi type defense to give themselves a chance.
I just hope that somehow they can keep this thing, interesting, and that Tyler Van Dyke is healthy. That's what we really need to see, a healthy Tyler Dyke in this game, so Miami has at least some kind of a shot. By the way, Texas A&M is early in the second quarter is leading LSU 7-0. UCF leading South Florida 14-0. Start of the second. It is Tennessee leading Vanderbilt 7-0. Just starting the game right now. And some of the finals: number 1 Georgia over Georgia Tech 37-14. Number 3 Michigan over number 2 Ohio State 45-23. Number 4 TCU over Iowa State 62-14. Number 7 Alabama beats Auburn 49-27. South Carolina upends and shocks number 8 Clemson 31-30. A game that I thought for sure Clemson would win. Oregon State, number 21 Oregon State, comes back and surprises number 9 Oregon 38-34. They scored 28 points in the second half, 21 of them in the fourth quarter. Oregon can only muster 3 points in that fourth. Penn State doubles up on Michigan 35-16. It is number 14 Utah all over Colorado 63-21. And Kentucky defeats number 25 Louisville 26-13. That's what went on in college football today. We still have a couple of games left. At 8 o'clock, when this game starts, so does Kansas and Kansas State. And at 10:30, Washington taking on Washington State. Washington, by the way, is 9-2 right now in the Pac-12, 6-2 in the conference. Washington State is 4-4.
Oh, let me ask you about the CFP ranking. So as it stands right now, heading into this week of college football, this weekend of college football, from 1 to 4, you got Georgia, followed by Ohio State, Michigan, TCU. That's your top 4. Did Ohio State lose enough to get out of the top 4?
Oh, yeah.
So are they the best one-loss team? Because where would you drop them? In the CFP, they're second. Where are you putting them? Because the 5th place team is LSU, 2 losses. Are you putting a 2-loss team over a 1-loss team?
I'm gonna sneak in USC if they win their conference.
Fair, because it's a conference winner.
Right.
Fair, because it's a conference winner. Okay. So where does Ohio State drop if you're on the committee?
5. I'm gonna move USC up if they win to 4, and I'll drop Ohio State to 5.
So where does LSU go? They're 5th.
No,
now.
they're behind. They're behind. You got 2 losses. I can't put you in front of Ohio State, but I got to drop them out, and I'm going to put USC in there as long as they win in their conference. Okay.
Okay. So you're gonna.
Because they're going to be 11-1, man.
Yeah, I mean, and listen, they're playing a tough Notre Dame team who's
Well,
better.
actually, they'll be 12-1 because they'll win this week, and then they got to win their conference.
And they'll win their conference, right?
So they'll be 12-1.
Right.
If they're 12-1, I'm putting USC in there. Okay. Obviously, if they lose tonight, Ohio State stays in there.
Right, and they just had a big play on some trickeration there for a big first down there. Caleb Williams completes the pass to, I'm not sure who number 87 is for USC, but it's their tight end. They're about to score. It seems like they're in Notre Dame territory, but I'm interested to see what the committee says. Michigan's gonna obviously be number 2. You got TCU gonna go to 3. So Big O, I'm talking about going into next week, not after all is said and done. Going into next week, Tuesday, you're gonna have USC at number 4 or LSU at number 4.
As long as they take care of business, I'll have USC at number 4. I'll give them a chance, even though I know they're probably going to get spanked because that's usually what happens to the soft 12. I mean the Pac-12. I'm sorry. Manny Navarro reports that linebacker Sam Brooks Jr., who hasn't played since last season, is among those participating in Senior Day for Miami tonight. He's wearing his old number 6 jersey, which is now worn by Darrell Jackson Jr.
Good for him.
Okay.
That it was a shame that Miami wasn't able to take advantage of his services, because that linebacker right there, he was going to be a problem. But then, he had to medically put about turf. So it was really bad.
Lou Henley, Camden Will Mallory.
Okay.
All right. All right, let's go around and let's give some predictions. Sean Stanley, sir, grab the mic. Tell us what you got. What's going to happen in tonight's game between the Pitt Panthers and your Miami Hurricanes, sir?
37-14 Miami.
Damn. 37-14 Miami. Are you shocked that Sean picked a blowout?
That's the real question, right? You said 37-14 Miami.
Yes.
Tyler Van Dyke's playing. I hope to see a lot of Jakari. Oh, Jakari. I'm going to say Miami 27, and I'll go Pittsburgh 26.
You got him winning. All right. I'm going to have him losing, and I'm going to say the Pitt Panthers are going to win 23-13. 13.
With the TBD. Damn, that sucks. Oh,
yeah. I guess I'm not sure he's really healthy.
Yeah, he can't be, which is
I have a hard time believing that. So I'm going to go with Pitt. They're the better team, but man, they're missing some important pieces.
They're missing important pieces. That's the other thing. And again, Miami is looking to extend this winning streak against Pittsburgh to 5 games, guys. 5 games.
If they have their running back, then they'll probably score more than 23.
100%.
But if I'm counting that the running back isn't scoring and isn't playing, and then the defensive tackles aren't playing, so then maybe they'll keep things kind of interesting because their offense won't be as explosive. But I just don't expect much from the Miami offense, especially if Tyler's not healthy. I hope I see a healthy Tyler, and then I'm wrong. You know what I mean?
Tyler. Tyler. I mean, that's going to be the key. But for those of you that cannot remember, by the way, USC just went up 7-0 at home against Notre Dame on, I think this is the first drive of the game for them.
Yes.
But last year, Miami 38-34, winning at Pitt. That was a really crazy game between the two quarterbacks. 2020, Miami win at home 31-19. So that's 2 years in a row that Miami's Pittsburgh. 2019, 16-12. And then the game that started the streak in Miami goes 24-3. Miami winning that game.
All right, Chad. By the way, Chad Shobe is saying 17-10 Miami. Again, so a lot of confidence. 3 out of the 4 guys on the show.
Pitts doesn't really scare me. They don't really scare me, but
Miami,
a lot of teams Miami lost to this year didn't scare me. But the last time Pitt beat Miami was in 2017, 24-14.
All right, so they have confirmed that the D tackles are out, but nothing on the running back. Maybe they want to make him wait all the way to the end.
And even if he does play, he's not going to be 100% healthy.
All right.
100% healthy, and that's a bell cow. That's a guy that they're going to use. They want to give him 20+ carries.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we will be back post-game. The second this game ends, we will be on the air. Remember, we'll be back tomorrow morning to get you ready for the Dolphins and the Houston Texans. So that should be a very interesting show. So we'll have some fun with that. On behalf of Sean Stanley and Chad Shobe, as always, mastering this Orlando Alzugaray, we shall see you post-game show. Let's hope the Canes can defeat Pittsburgh and end the season on a high note and head off to a bowl game.
And then we'll be doing this again one more time, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know about that, but we'll see. Well, I mean, yeah, we'll do it one more time. I don't exactly know where, but we'll be doing it one more time. Anyway, we'll see you on the other side right here on the myedgedrink.com Miami Hurricane pregame show.
This has been the Edge Energy Drink Miami Hurricanes pregame show, live from Walk-On Sports Bistro in Kendall on the Sports Talk 305 Network. The show is mastered by Sean Stanley and Chad Shobe. Visit Walk-On Sports Bistro in Kendall at 9065 Southwest 162nd Avenue. Enjoy Walk-On's authentic and mouth-watering Louisiana cuisine prepared fresh from scratch. Closes daily at midnight, 7 days a week. Please subscribe to our platform by searching Big O Radio Show on all digital avenues. We'll be back with a complete wrap-up of the game once the last second ticks off the clock. Thank you for your support and enjoy Hurricanes football.